Hey guys, tell me some of the ways that you guys are preserving your eggs that you have in abundance.
Hi guys, Laura here from Hedgehog's Homestead. Today I'm going to talk about what you can do with excess eggs. One of the things that I'm preparing for winter, when those eggs or when those chickens slow down, what I've done here is, this is all duck eggs. I just put them in, saw me put these eggs in these tins. And I do that so I can freeze them for the winter. They make okay scrambled eggs, and you can defrost them for baking. If you can't get to the store, it's a great thing just to have. If you need it for, sometimes I like to feed eggs to a sick chicken. If I have a sick chicken, I'll feed them scrambled eggs, and so I always have that around for them. It's just a good way to preserve some eggs for the winter. Another thing that I like to do is pickle my eggs. I do a jalapeno pickling recipe, and I'm gonna try today a dill pickling recipe. Now I got both of those from Living Traditions. I love their pickling jalapeno recipe. So whenever we have the extra eggs, even though we're carnivore and we eat a lot of eggs, we are still not keeping up with all the eggs we have. So freezing them like this in a silicone container and just putting them in the fridge with a date, you know, what year they're from, they'll last at least a year in the freezer. And now I have them for, you know, if I want to make something in the middle of the winter, like, you know, I've got a recipe or a recipe box that says we need 1 egg. I just defrost that egg and then put it in the recipe, and it works very well. So I'm going to go ahead and put the date on these, and then this is the first batch I'm going to do. I'm probably going to do another batch. Right now I'm making some hard-boiled eggs in my Instapot. I do that just 5 minutes, steam them with a cup of water. I crack mine just a tiny bit on the bottom. Sometimes they explode in there, but most of the time they don't. But it makes it so easy for them to peel. You can do that even with farm fresh eggs and boil them. It works very well. If you put a little crack in it, if you're not comfortable putting a crack in it, you can make a little pinhole with a knife, with a nice sharp knife just in the bottom, and that works great too. Okay guys, now I'm gonna make my eggs. I'm gonna do a dill version and a spicy. Last 2 months in your refrigerator. So it's a good way to preserve some eggs. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start with our, I use Himalayan salt here, a tablespoon each. And that will kind of help make you part of your rind that you're gonna be making. 2 garlic, 2 tablespoons of garlic each. This is a tablespoon each. So this is diced garlic. You can just smash your garlic if you want. I'm going to use half a teaspoon of mustard, not mustard, whole black pepper in each jar. Okay, and then I'm gonna do mustard seed, half a teaspoon in each jar. Okay. And then for the dill one, dried flowers, which I have here. 1. I think I'm gonna, these look like they have got a little bit of mold, so I'm not gonna do that because I didn't put them in a container where I sucked out the air and all that stuff. So give a good shake of that in there. And then, so now I'm going to start to make our brine. And that is just 1 1 1/3 cups of vinegar and 1 1/3 cups of water. Our salt's already in there, so we just need to put in that stuff here. Letting you know, dill seed would probably be better for this recipe. I'm going to go ahead and try it this way. That's why I wanted to get the fresh flowers, because they have the seed in them, but I don't have any dill seed left. So I'm just going to use the ground up dill weed here, and hopefully that works. So basically you want, I'm going to double this recipe because Living Traditions does it with apple cider vinegar. We like to do it with just regular vinegar. So we're just doing equal parts water, equal parts vinegar, which is still 1 1/3, 1 1/3. So, which is 2 2/3. So, the reason why you want the brine warm is it helps dissolve that salt that's in there and helps the process of the pickling begin with the brine going. I'm going to grab a pair of gloves and I'm going to start adding my jalapeno and my eggs. Now this one I can go ahead and add the eggs. I'm not counting them, I'm just adding them. And now I used my Instant Pot to do these eggs, and what I do is I just crack them barely, put them in the Instant Pot and cook them for 5 minutes. She cooks them for 5 minutes. I cook them for about 2 minutes. I like my hard-boiled eggs a little softer. So that one's full. And then we're gonna add our brine to that one. And we're just gonna put plastic lids on these guys. Which I don't have any. I do have some that size. I'll have to go out and get them in the shop. And then this one, because I want hot pickled eggs and I want dill pickled eggs, I'm gonna go ahead for this one, put the jalapenos that I have from the garden. I have small jalapenos. I'm gonna cut those up and put them in between the eggs for the jalapeno one. But I'm gonna get some gloves on first. I tend to like to touch my eyes a lot, and that's the problem with me, is that I touch my eyes and then I got jalapeno juice in my eyes. And you can still do that with gloves on, but the difference is that I'm less likely to do it with gloves on because the gloves are a reminder not to do it. So I stuck some jalapenos in there. Now I'm gonna add some eggs. I might have to make some more eggs. Okay, more eggs. And I think I am gonna have to make some more eggs, or put some of these in here because we like this version for sure. I have a jalapeno that turned red on me out there. And then I'll just do a sampling size, I guess, of this one here. So usually you're gonna do about 8. Sorry. If you have small eggs, you're gonna be doing about 11 to 12 eggs per quart size jar. And so I'm gonna go ahead and add all this jalapeno because I like it spicy. There we go. And then we'll just add our brine over top. Okay, so I'll tell you how the dill one tastes, and it doesn't matter that it's all the way full or not, as long as the pickling juice that we are making over here behind us is covering the eggs. So if you didn't make enough eggs, no big deal. I got plenty of eggs. I can make another batch if I like this. And so still waiting on our brine to cook all the way, just heating it through. And so that can start the process of melting that salt. And once I get a lid on this, I'll give it a good shake, and then we'll put it in the fridge, wait at least 3 days. And within that 3 days, we can go ahead and eat these, and they will be delicious. You can eat them the night of that you make them, but they are best 3 days later. You're gonna get the full effect of what they taste like. Use one of these canning funnels, and now don't put your face directly over the brine. Just make sure your brine is covering everything. And if you have some left over, you can always put it in, because I didn't add the salt to this, and I added the salt in my jar, what you can do is you can just use that liquid, the rest of the liquid, in a squeeze bottle, or a misting bottle, and use it to wash your windows. So that's the nice thing about using the white vinegar in this. It's also a great cleaning solution. So I'm just going to put my lids on. Now, this is just a couple of ways that you guys can save your eggs. Freezing them. You can also, if you have a freeze dryer, freeze dry scrambled eggs. You can freeze dry them, dry them. I'm not so sure about that. I haven't done that before, so I wouldn't know myself. Oops, put that lid on a little tighter. Give it a good shake. And get that brine to move all in. Now I'm using pink Himalayan salt, and so it's going to give it a pink hue. And we're just going to let those sit for 3 days and then enjoy them. So that's just one of the ways that you can, or a couple of ways that you can do with your eggs to save them. You can also do water glassing, which is I don't have experience with, and if it's just something that I'm reluctant to try, just because I know that the eggshells get softened in that process. You can leave them for over a year if you water glass them. I don't have that experience, so I can't show you that. So, but this is a couple of ways where you can save eggs for at least 2 months. They are delicious. These probably won't last 2 months, but it's just a fun process. Now I will buy some more of the dill seed, so I don't have to do this anymore, but I'm sure it's going to be delicious either way. That dill is just going to add the flavor that we need. So I do have some frozen dill, and maybe I should have put that in there. So because I was saving the frozen dill for pickles. So next time, duh. Another thing is that you do want to use probably fresh garlic for this. This garlic was preserved in a little bit of oil. So if you've seen me do that and you saw me put it in here, these eggs may not last as long because I introduced a little bit of oil. It should be fine, but buyer beware on that one. So there you go. Two different ways to preserve eggs. and enjoy them later. I will be freezing more eggs for winter, and that is a good solution for us, so we really enjoy that. You can also put this brine in the freezer or in the fridge in a jar and save it for another time you want to pickle something. So, hey guys, tell me some of the ways that you guys are preserving your eggs that you have in abundance. God bless. Bye.